Coach, have you got any updates on Stetson Bennett yet?
As far as
whether he's going to be back at Georgia this year?
still undecided. He's looking at some different options. Stetson's done a tremendous job for us. And we're really excited about what he's done for us. And we're exhausting every option to try to keep Stetson with us. But we think he's a very talented young man. I've spoken on that behalf multiple times. And we hope we can keep him with us. He has not made that decision yet.
Does that include giving him a scholarship if he decides to stay?
Possibility.
How do you feel about depth behind the two scholarship guys?
I feel like Stetson's a really good player. We need to keep Stetson there and help us. We don't really have many other guys beyond Stetson. We've got two young quarterbacks coming in. They're going to be walk-ons that we think are good players. But we've invested a lot in Stetson, the development he took this spring and what he did in bowl practices, and excited to see what he can do. And we're encouraging him to stay so that he gets that opportunity. But I certainly respect what he's done this far for the University of Georgia. He's a really good student as well, so we're signing him on the University of Georgia education.
Kirby, what's Marshall Long's situation? Is he going to be available this season at all? And what do you think of your competition you have at punter?
Yeah, I think Marshall's going to be fine. I think he's rehabbing now, working out. He punted a lot this spring. Excited about the young man we've got coming in. And Bill Rubright did a good job this spring. So we've got several guys that are going to be able to compete at the punting position, and certainly think there'll be a competition at every position, but you got to feel good about Rodrigo coming back with field goals.
How would you characterize that surgery that Marshall had? Was it kind of a cleanup type thing, or was it another?
Yeah, it was a minor surgery. It was not a major deal. Certainly hope he comes back to 100% quickly, but it was more of a cleanup situation.
What can you tell us about Jay Hayes coming in?
I'm not even allowed to comment on Jay Hayes because he's a recruitable athlete.
To have an addition, you can't mention anyone in particular, but how needed is that given the depth that you ended the spring with some injuries? I know that those weren't long-term injuries, but just to be able to shore up if there was someone with a veteran presence or anything like that.
Yeah, I think you're always trying to get more veteran presence on any team. I mean, certainly any depth you can create through recruiting, junior colleges or transfers, you're always trying to do that. We're getting ready to have a big group of guys come in and report here shortly, and I'm excited about those guys. And a lot of our coaches have been out on the road recruiting, kind of checking on those guys and seeing those guys, making sure they're keeping their weight down, finishing strong academically, and any opportunity you get to improve your roster, you certainly want to do that.
Kirby, we see where D'Angelo Gibbs has re-enrolled in school. Does that mean he's back in the program and everything's good to go with him as far as fall?
Yeah, that's probably a little premature on y'all's part. I think that nothing's done with D'Angelo Gibbs until he's back with us, and that verdict's still out right now.
What are you allowed to, at liberty to say about him?
Just that he's working and doing the things we ask, and he needs to continue to do that, and we'll make a decision when the time comes. But being enrolled in school that doesn't signify that he's with our roster right now.
As you talk about the main thing being the main thing, I guess the new guys you were referring to a while ago are about to show up for you. Are there guys in that group that's coming in that you realistically feel like they need to get in here and you need to get some help right away out of that group?
Yeah, I think you always feel that way. I mean, you wouldn't recruit them if you didn't feel like they could help you. Certainly, there'll be a realization stage where they go from not knowing that they don't know to knowing they don't know, to hopefully knowing that they know. And we're trying to kind of move them through that world, but a lot of those guys come in and have no clue what to expect, and they're going to find out quickly that the pace of workouts, the pace of 7-on-7s, the pace of installations is much faster than they're used to. But we challenged those guys early on, and we found that a lot of freshmen that can play. I think we had 21 year, 17 the next year contribute, so we certainly hope that it's going to be the same way with this group. And we had some good ones come in mid-year, but now we've got a lot more coming in that we think can help us this season, and we certainly need their help. Some of them will compete for starting roles, some of them will provide depth, a lot of them will be on special teams that we think will help us. So I'm excited to get them in. I want to get them in with us so they can start working.
One of those guys that's real interesting is Jordan Davis. Yeah, he's the size that you used to see at that zero technique, 3-4 kind of nose guard. But you kind of don't see as many of those guys. Is he? How do you see him fitting in?
Well, I think he's got to continue to progress with his weight. I mean, you can't come in and be a successful football player on the defensive line at 340, 350 pounds. So he's got to lose some weight from that standpoint. I think he's working hard to do that. He's extremely athletic, and I would disagree that I think you do see a lot of guys that are like him from a standpoint of being physical and holding the point of attack, especially in the SEC. And everybody's in need of those guys to control the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage is so important in our league, and if you don't have the depth you need to play a lot of players, then you struggle at those positions. And we hope he provides us some depth if we can get him in shape.
When you're evaluating that position, how much of gauging weight loss and all those sort of things, how much goes into that, and what's the projection like among the coaching staff when you have to make those decisions?
It's a projection. I think anytime you make a projection, there's a chance you're inaccurate. I think a lot of times with me, it's when you talk about weight management, it's discipline. It's how can this guy control it? I mean, we've offered guys contingent on if you can lose 20 pounds, if you can lose 30 pounds, can you come to camp and show us you have the weight discipline to move down? The other side of that is some kids got to move up. So we always take that into consideration, but no, it's not an exact science. We can't say this guy that's 270 is going to be 290 and be a great player. I mean, you look at the Bradley Chubb situation. Here's a kid that blossomed into an unbelievable talent. Who would have knew that he would have weighed what he weighed? I think if you could forecast that in a crystal ball, you would certainly get it right more often. And we're always exploring a lot of things on tape. I mean, I watched 150 guys in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm saying, what's his max out weight-wise going to be? And you don't know. I mean, everybody's body kind of develops a different way, and I wish we could get it right all the time, but that's a big part of development, our nutrition, and our weightlifting program.
Kirby, looking at today, and just how important is it to you to have a chance to come down to Columbus and address some of the Georgia fans?
I think it's always great when you get to be with a great fan base. I mean, what our fan base did for us last year speaks volumes for our season. So an opportunity to come today to Savannah tomorrow to give back to these fans, I think it's any chance you get to do that, you want to take advantage of it. I think for Tom, it's a chance to get acclimated with these Georgia fans and get to be around these people that give so much of their time, energy, and effort to the program. This is one of those opportunities we get to share with them.
More questions?
I got one more, Coach. Just after you've had time to go back and just really look at what happened during the spring and as you move ahead to fall camp, what was your biggest takeaway as far as where you're at right now and what you all really need to really kind of hone in on what fall camp is?
A lot of work needs to be done. We're not where we need to be from a leadership standpoint. We're not where we need to be from a day-to-day work habit standpoint. And we've got some youth at some positions, and we've got some experience at positions. I think you have that every year. You know, I certainly was not as concerned about the running back position last year at this time that you would be now. And I think every position that's different. But as a whole, I'm pleased with the effort they have tried to learn with and do things with, but we're not where we need to be from a leadership standpoint. We don't have people affecting people. We don't have players affecting other players, and we got to develop some of that with our coaching staff and with our strength staff and all season.
Have time for one more? Mark Webb, he had that, he was banged up there at the end of the spring. Are you guys expecting him to kind of be ready to roll,
Yeah, he's working out, running now. He's
Okay.
doing everything full speed. I mean, this gets repaired, but it was a situation they ended up taking some of it out, and he's been tremendous ever since, and he's been running and working out, and he's there in May, so he's doing really well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.